My name is Halima Aden. I'm a Black, Muslim, Somali American refugee. I've been told I'm not American enough. I've been told I'm not being a good Muslim. But I've also heard from thousands of people around the world telling me that I'm changing the narrative and have inspired them. As young people, we have the power to change the world. We, as the future leaders in this country, get that it's critical to get to know our neighbors and be open to learning about them. We are the generation of positive, forward thinkers who have hope and want to dream big. When I reflect on race and religion, a lot of painful memories come to mind. From being made fun of for wearing the hijab and hearing terrorist jokes, it would be easy for me to blame those who look different than me or practice a different faith than I do for my hard times. What has given me peace and stability during my times when life seemed anything but peaceful and stable for my family is an unwavering sense of community. No matter where I go and no matter who I align myself with. Community is what continues to give me hope. Two definitions come up when you Google community. A group of people living in the same place or having a particular characteristic in common. Two, a feeling of fellowship with others as a result of sharing common attitudes, interests, and goals. I think if we open up our minds and hearts, we will see that there is a community all around us. Do whatever you need to do to be heard, make a difference, leave your footprint, and most importantly, never give up hope. Don't change yourself, change the game. And I want to hear you all say it, okay? Don't change yourself, change the game. One more time, don't change yourself. Thank you.
Men like Turgot and backed them up, all would have gone well. But the beneficiaries of privilege, the forward reactionaries, the short-sighted ultra-conservatives turned down Turgot and then found that instead of him they had obtained Robespierre.
Hi, I'm Halima Aden, and I'm a model and UNICEF ambassador.
We want to move now to the groundbreaking model revolutionizing the definition of beauty.
She's Muslim and follows a modest dress code.
You were the first to wear a hijab in a beauty pageant. Last year, the first model to pose for Sports Illustrated in a burkini.
What did it feel like when you first saw Vogue magazine and you saw your face in it?
Wow. I was shocked, and honestly, I couldn't believe it. You know, my first Vogue cover was with Vogue Arabia, and I was like, wow, I can't believe at 5'5", at the time I might have been wearing braces, so to me I was still having a shock, like, wow, I can't believe I just scored my first Vogue cover this early into my career, so it was very shocking, but in all the best way.
I've heard about Halima on so many occasions over the last few years.
My girlfriend discovered her through her beauty pageants, my female Muslim friends recognize her as a role model, and especially when I was traveling in Mogadishu, my Somali friends know her as an ambassador for their country. So let's just say that I was excited to have the chance to spend an entire evening with Halima in Minnesota. She is just the sweetest person on earth who quite possibly has the most inspiring story I've ever told you. So where are you originally from?
So originally, my family is Somali. So originally we're from Somalia. In 1994, after the Somali Civil War, my mom had fled, and then I was born in Kakuma, Kenya. So Kakuma, it's one of the largest refugee camps in the world. But what's so interesting is I remember so many joyous moments, whether that's like, running around as kids and all the songs that brought so much positivity into my childhood. But yeah, at the end of the day, it is a refugee camp. So bouts of malaria and all the struggles in a refugee camp, we've definitely experienced that firsthand. But what's greater is the sense of community, unlike no other place I've ever experienced.
You were so young, so do you remember there being struggles at that age, or it was just life had you do it?
Well, I think when you're a kid, no matter what environment you're placed in or brought up in, I think there is that sense of, I'm still a kid, so I'm gonna make the best out of any situation. So I still had a lot of happy memories, and I think that had a lot to do with my mom and the way that she viewed our situation. She made it a point early on to move us around the camp and surround us with different people, and early on I got to see, okay, here are your Ethiopian friends, and then we did sleepovers, and this is how they celebrate when it comes to Eid. When it was Ramadan for us, we all came together as the kids, and they did a beautiful job, I think, our parents, of not separating us when it came to times in life where there was, reason to celebrate.
So when did you leave Kakuma and come to the US?
So that process I do kind of remember, and it's a really long one. I think sometimes when people are they're thinking about the refugee crisis and what it means for somebody to get relocated to a place like America from Kenya. It is a long vetting process, physical vetting, medical vetting, background vetting. And for me, I do remember like countless times where my mom was like, okay, we're getting so close to be relocated to a better place. And then it would be rejected.
So the US wasn't necessarily the first choice, it was like just any place to get out.
Yeah, you don't get a say. I think that's something else people don't realize. It really is up in the air, and even to this day, I still don't fully understand how that process worked. Because originally we're supposed to go to Australia, and then that didn't work out for whatever reason. And so we waited a couple more years in Kakuma, and then here you go, you're going to America.
So Halima and her family eventually made their way up to St. Cloud, Minnesota, because they heard that it has the largest Somali community in the United States.
Word of mouth, it's powerful.
So then you arrived to St. Cloud, and you must have been in like second, third grade, or?
Yeah, second grade.
And did you speak English?
No. I was met with teachers who would go above and beyond for several years in grade school to like help me learn English, stay after school with me, to help me with homework. My mom would show up and walk to school like every single day, even though she didn't speak English, just to make sure that, she had FaceTime with my teachers at least. In middle school, elementary school, I was just, still adjusting. I'm not gonna lie. It took me a long time to adjust to life here, to kind of, come into my own. But I think in high school, like freshman year, I made that conscious choice of, I'm gonna join the clubs that I wanna join, I'm gonna join in the activities that I wanna join in, and I'm just gonna make as many friends as I can. And senior year, I became my town's first Muslim homecoming queen, and something I never heard of in the state of Minnesota. And then I competed for Miss Minnesota USA in 2016. And then that's really where the story kind of takes off.
Halima went on to place in the semifinals during the competition, which is unbelievable considering that just a decade prior, she was living in a refugee camp in Kenya. She also became the first woman in the 65-year history of Miss Universe to wear a hijab and burkini on stage. Little did she know that her life would take an immediate change after that.
And I think in 2016 politically, where we were, I think it was a time where people were educating themselves, and you know, it was also a time where France had just enacted a burkini ban, so no burkinis on beaches and public pools. So I think just the year that it was in, and the fact that I came out and decided I was going to be bold and confident and wear my burkini and my hijab on stage, it definitely did create enough buzz to get in front of Corinne Rothfield, one of the biggest people in fashion, and also Ivan Bart, who is IMG Models president.
Before the beauty pageant, did you know that you were the first one to wear a hijab on stage?
I don't think I thought about it, and honestly, I didn't even know that they were gonna accept it. I was just like, oh, I wear a hijab, and so I just couldn't have dreamed that it would give me this platform, which is even bigger, to do exactly that, which is tell girls in my community that the sky's the limit.
All of a sudden, all these news outlets were talking about you. Like, how did you feel as an 18-year-old?
It was amazing, and it was kind of nerve-wracking because I was like, ooh, wow, like, media training, anyone? I don't think we had a second to catch our breath and just, you know, like, wow, this is really happening. I feel like it went from 0 to 100. My first shoot was with Rihanna, not to name drop, but to name drop. You know, I grew up never seeing a Muslim woman in magazine covers, fashion, you know, and today I can proudly say I've been on Vogue, Allure, you know, pretty much all the biggest, you know, fashion publications, and just 3 years ago that never existed. And I feel like I've learned so much. I've become a UNICEF ambassador. I've gone to travel the world. And as somebody who travels yourself, Drew, I'm sure you know, like, you gain so much from traveling, from meeting other people.
So, what are your goals? What are you trying to accomplish with all this modeling?
Well, I think fashion is amazing, and I just recently became Vogue Arabia's diversity editor-at-large, which, you know, at 22 I never thought I'd be getting to do my own column every month, and it's a huge, you know, honor, and I'm so grateful. So I'm excited to do more outside of just modeling, but like within the space of fashion, to do more in terms of like just being a voice and also amplifying other people's voices and bringing out different stories that maybe the general public doesn't always get to hear. And I'm excited to travel. I think everybody, you know, just being at home now with COVID-19, you know, I've been home now for 4 months, so I am itching to go back on the road and to travel. I definitely want to have, you know, a couple more trips under my belt with UNICEF, and by that point, I would want to go back to Kakuma. Things are constantly changing, and even my time being away from the camp, I went back and it's grown so much, tripled in size, so many more schools. So not to say that things are not moving in the right direction, they're really operating like its own modern day city and, you know, being self-sufficient in some areas. But I would definitely, in 5 years, would want to go back and see that the kids have access to Wi-Fi, a smart board in one of the classrooms. You know, I want to see some more modern technologies in the classroom so the kids can have the chance to communicate with the outside world and to have some type of normalcy, and also not be tied down to a single teacher educating them only on what they can teach. It opens up the kids' minds to everything that we have here in Minnesota. So I think that's definitely a project that's going to take time, but I'm putting it out into the universe because I believe in manifesting.
In all honesty, I couldn't have asked for a more enjoyable evening with Halima, and I'm honored to now call her a friend. I know that bigger and better things are on the horizon as she continues to inspire and be a leader in her community.
Halima, what is one message that you want to say to the world?
Okay, so my message to the world would definitely be something that I've said a million times now, and it's become my personal mantra / motto, and it's don't change yourself, change the game. Meaning, you know, if you don't see yourself represented in any given space, be that person, be a change maker, be a risk taker, just do your part and make sure that you're, you know, putting yourself out there, because the best things in life happen outside the comfort zone.
Thank you so much, that was awesome.
Wow, this has been